1:26 a.m. We're getting this FRL special edition started following session number 4. Yes, the semifinal and blood round, and it was a doozy. It was an amazing Friday at the NCAA Wrestling Championships. We're going to go weight by weight. We're going to run through everything, but the long and short of it on the team side, one, Penn State got 135.5. Nebraska was the story, though. 101.5 points scored. They were absolutely on fire. At one point, they were 14-1 on the backside. They just went nuclear. I've never seen, there's been big rounds, and I remember a lot, but I don't remember a day like this where I was this flabbergasted and astounded by how well a team's wrestling.
Nebraska was balling out. I warned Husker fans, so I said, be ready for some heartbreak in this blood round. Heartbreak didn't come. Now, the next round, I think they sputtered a little bit.
Yeah.
But my, in that semifinal and blood round, did they ball out?
They balled out. And we'll start at 125, top side semi. Vincent Robinson, a pretty, workman-like 4-2 win over Sheldon Seymour. Wasn't really tested. And then a crazy bottom side semi between Eddie Ventresca and Troy Spratley. Spratley emerging the winner in tiebreakers, where he was able to get Ventresca. It goes down. He gets away immediately. You're like, oh man,
yep.
Huge edge, Eddie Ventresca. He never really got his bearings, never really got his feet all the way underneath him. Spratley really wisely sensed it and stayed on him, and basically got a takedown the second Eddie was able to escape, and that ultimately, of course, you score a takedown tiebreakers, you're going to win 9 times out of 10.
Yep, really cool moment there where he was giving Gilman a lot of credit there at the end of his match. I'm sure he's worked a lot with Gilman this year, and it's paid off. I'll say erroneous team point. They took a team point from Vincent Robinson, tossed his headgear. Terrible. We've harped on that enough, but
yeah, it's still dumb. It's still worth mentioning. And then the round of 12, Steve O'Poulin took out Dean Peterson, gave up the first takedown, came back and won that match. 7-3 win for Luke Liljedahl over Nicolas Rivera, ending the streak of no AA since 2016.
The curse.
For Penn State. The Soriano curse, they call it. I don't call it that. Soriano's a blessing, but it's broken. He got on the
10
podium.
A's.
Huh?
10 A's.
10 All-Americans.
Is it bigger for Kale or bigger for you? If you've been watching the show for a long time, you've known we have debated what is harder, 10 All-Americans or 5 champs.
I know what looks harder this weekend, getting 5, because Penn State gets 3 in the finals. We'll get to all that. Elsewhere in the round of 12, Matt Ramos beat Trevor Anderson and Caleb Smith in a crazy 12-9 blood round match against Dret Strickenberger. That one truly a coin flip, an exciting one that Caleb Smith ultimately won. And the magic began there for the Huskers.
You said it when we were watching, but the Steve-O win over Dean Peterson, you were like, this is so NCAAs. Dean Peterson, the highest of highs, beating Richie Figs last night, and then DNPs.
He had the moment of yesterday, the pin of the national champion, and that is just how savage this tournament is, that you could have the moment of a day of the toughest tournament, and you leave with nothing.
Yeah.
It's freaking brutal, but a very NCAA's moment, you're right. 25, we don't have to get into too much. Here's the matchups that are happening. Ventresca versus Liljedahl, Conci semi. Ramos versus Seymour, Conci semi. And Poulin and Caleb Smith duking it out for 7th.
I should mention quickly, just kind of brief preview of the final.
Vincent did win, but man, it feels like you have to throw everything out the door, at the window.
Absolutely.
Wherever you throw things out of, that's where you have to put them. I don't know. I feel like it's a coin flip match. I feel like this national championship game plan versus national championship game plan. It feels like Troy might need to win a match almost like he did in the semifinals to beat Vincent Robinson. I think he can't volume attack him.
You're not going to put up a lot of points on Vincent Robinson, I don't think.
No. That seems very unlikely.
But it was big for Troy to win that match to prove he can, because up until that point he had been winning kind of handily, putting up a lot of points. He won a nitty-gritty one against Eddie Ventresca in the semi.
He certainly did. Going to 133, Lucas Bird, a 2-0 winner over Zeth Romney, and Drake Ayala, a 6-1 over Zan Fugit. And it was a I thought a controversial first takedown for Drake, but I don't think it. No, it didn't get challenged.
He got challenged by Iowa.
Yeah.
And overturned. Originally, they said no takedown on the mat, which I personally think is probably the right call.
Yeah.
Who knows what reaction time even is?
Well, they changed
Anymore.
the definition again. They switched it back because I thought no way they're going to give this, and they gave it, and then Drake had it. But man, I was really. Fugit was super competitive. I mean, it was a 6-1 final, but I was impressed with Zan. But Drake, I mean, it's just scoring so many points. He scored 21, 13, 23, and 6. 6 is not a small amount. I think he's still my pick to win 133, but man, Lucas Bird is wrestling really well right now.
Rubber match.
It is the rubber match. Absolutely right. Drake won a 1 takedown match in the duel in Carver, and Lucas won by fall in the Big Ten final.
Yep.
So take with that what you will. There's probably not much to derive, but that's it. Van D Majors, Rini to punch his ticket. And man, Van D, we never really bailed on Van D this year. We're always like, man, he's just a tough guy out. But after Big Tens, when he got bonked and knocked out of the tournament, I'm like, man, that's just a tough thing. This weight is so deep. Is he going to be able to? And he freaking figured it out. Got on the podium. Pretty cool. Braden Davis. It felt like when Braden won, it's like, all right, this is going to probably lock up the 10 AAs for him.
Yeah, after
right?
that, they only needed K-Sac.
Yeah, and it felt like he was, although that was a really close match. He wins 4-2 over Evan Frost, who fell right there. Knox beat Bouzakis, avenging a major decision loss from CKLV. I mean, Knox is just he's freaking tough. He's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And then McGonigal beat Shaver 5-1 to punch his ticket, and he gets on the podium. And then afterwards, McGonigal beat Knox 1-0. Davis beat Van D 4-2, so that gives us Fugit versus Davis and McGonigal versus Romney in the Consi semis. Knox versus Van D for 7th. Anything else on 33?
Nope, don't think so.
Okay. 141, Brock Hardy, just, talking about his point scoring ability. He put it on full display. He got busy early against Cale Happel and never looked back. Mm-hmm. And that was why, you looked at, that's why I looked at their meeting in the dual meet. It's just like, yes, that happened, but I just felt like the way Brock was wrestling, if he was able to keep that momentum, not just from Big Tens, but what he was already doing this tournament, it felt like it was his match and that it was super irrelevant, like what had happened in that instance.
He has found a new gear this past month.
Yes.
And he's going to need that because Jesse Mendez found a new gear this week in Philadelphia that was not there at Big Tens.
He dogged up so crazy in tiebreakers. So he gets ridden for like 27 seconds in tiebreaker. It looked like he was going to get ridden out, honestly.
Yes, I thought he was going
I thought he was. After it got past like 15 and there was a restart with like, I don't know, 11 or 9. And he gets away with like 2 or 3 seconds left. And you're like, okay, you're basically going to have to ride out for the win.
Interesting tactics from Bo to go. So they had 3 restarts, I think, in that first 30 seconds. He goes, or 2 restarts, excuse me, but 3 starts. Yeah. Goes optional, start the first time, then traditional.
I didn't notice
then
that.
Back to optional start.
Really?
But he basically got a rolling start when he did the optional start.
It's true.
It was clearly a game plan tactic. It wasn't, he didn't look over to the corner.
It wasn't vibes.
No, it was.
We talked about this.
Yep, and I'm doing it.
Wow.
And he did the classic, too, approach when he went standard, approached Jesse from Jesse's left side, and then at the last second, switched to his right side.
Wow. Interesting. I'll have to go back and rewatch that tiebreaker.
Also, Jesse was so close to the takedown in regulation.
Oh my gosh. I mean, a lot of people were texting me, was that 3? I mean, yeah, it could have been. I didn't, when it went to review, I thought they're not overturned.
Yeah, I felt the same.
Call. So yeah, crazy one sets up Brock Hardy, Jesse Mendez. Man, I feel like I have a lean in the first 2. I don't know my lean here.
I think
Brock's wrestling better, but Jesse,
he's got that dog.
Dog factor.
And generally, I lean dog versus crazy scrambliness. Like, it just feels like Jesse is going to find a way. And I was not saying this after Big Tens.
Brock reminds me of Cody Brewer's 2015 run a little bit.
Except he hasn't gone through quite the same level of competition.
If you factor in that he won Big Tens, I would say
Okay,
he had,
okay, that is true.
He's basically continuing his Big Ten run to now, where the offense is just clicking on a different level, and Cody never, he had that tournament was just unreal, but that was his high watermark for his career. Not just that he won, but like I feel like he never reached that level of wrestling in his career, and then he did, and he won. And I feel like that's where Brock is right now. He just might be operating on a different level. I'm not leaning Jesse. I'm not leaning Brock. I really don't have an understanding of how this is going to go.
I don't know either. I feel like points are going to go on the board, but it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Like, I could definitely see a scenario where each guy gets a takedown, and it comes down to a fraction of riding time or a late takedown or something like that.
Yeah. Could absolutely come down to that. In the round of 12 at 41, Coder Hant takes out Jamison. Really close overtime match there. Yep. Jacob Frost beat Sergio Limley in a crazy barn burner. Limley was up 2 takedowns to none, was kind of cruising, and then kind of hit a wall. Frost kept coming, and it looked like there were going to be back-to-back Frost round of 12 losses on the same mat. And I was just thinking about the mom, who Jacob was talking about. Like, gosh, that is such a brutal. But then Jacob comes back and wins. That was amazing, and a really tough loss for Sergio Limley. That's one that's one of those losses, like everyone has them, where you just like kind of don't forget them. It's like it feels like, unfortunately, that might be one for Sergio.
I think it really will. Hey, preseason, you say Iowa State has a Frost All-American.
Yeah, it's Evan.
Yeah, Jacob's third string on the roster.
Yeah.
Biggest upset, Christian. What'd you think?
Biggest upset? I'm getting put on the spot here. Man, Antrell over Shapiro definitely stood out.
Huge.
That was a big one.
Yeah. We were there. I didn't get to see it enough.
Yeah.
But I thought Meyer.
That was a crazy. I mean,
wow.
Today I would say Blaze over Kasak.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a Penn State fan talking to me here. Yeah, it happened.
It was a tough day for Penn State fans.
Yeah, you poor things. 10 All-Americans, only 3 in the finals.
You just expect. Nope.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know.
K-Sac seemed good.
Yeah, it was tough.
Tough loss.
Very tough. Yep.
Should have taken them down. Couldn't.
Yep, you got to get the takedowns. If you play the tiebreaker game, it's a 50-50.
It's awesome.
It's crazy. Yep.
Yeah.
Have a good one, man. See ya. And then so that was Jacob Frost. Great match. That was one of the better round of 12 matches. Composto back on the podium.
Yeah.
We did not say that man's name much at all this year, but frickin' he made it happen in Philly.
In Philly, the hometown hero.
In his frickin' city. And then Vance Vombar, who is not right, still gritty, grinds out a nasty, gnarly 5-3 over Oliveri of Rutgers. Pretty impressive. That's 41. I don't know who's going to win that match. I mean, I don't know anything, but I always have, I don't know anything, but I always have a reason for the way I feel about things. I really just don't know. Oh, I forgot to do the thing where we say what matches are. Bartlett, Coder Hant, and Composto Happel, Conci semis, Frost, Vombar for 7th. 149, baby. Caleb Henson, 6-2 winner over D'Amelio. Solid win there. Got the takedown. D'Amelio almost had a nice double leg, but couldn't finish it.
Very Caleb Henson win.
Just gritty.
Yeah, getting close to taking down. Shows great defense. Nothing like crazy technical, just got tough.
Yes. And then Ridge Lovett. This was one where you're like, 30 seconds in, this match is over. He's up 3-0 and riding, and then he turns immediately. But Shane, to his credit, made it interesting. He got it to he was down by
8, I think.
He was down by 8, maybe more. And he got it to no, it had to be more. It was 12, I think. He has 3 plus 3 plus 4. So he's up 10, 11. 11-0 with riding time. And Shane got it to 12-6 or 13-6. But
it was kind of like, this is the thing again.
because it was early in the second period and it was 13-6.
Yes.
But then it just, when you have that kind of a lead, you know, Ridge got hit for stalling 3 times at the end, and you can afford to do that when you get a takedown and a 3-point near fall and a 4-point near fall. Just Ridge's wrestling as well as we've seen.
He's come out early and immediately attacked pretty much every opponent this tournament. Does he do the same against Caleb Henson?
He should not change that tactic. He should continue to attack, because one, I don't think Henson's going to hold. I mean, Ridge can afford to give up takedowns, right? He's got so many ways he can score. I feel like he needs to mix it up early with Henson. Try to get on top.
And the advantage he has when he gets on top in the first 30 seconds of the first period.
Yeah, when they're
And
dry.
has the ability to rack up multiple minutes of riding time and maybe a turn in the first period, that gives him such an advantage.
Absolutely, no question. I don't know. I mean, I'm sticking with Henson. I haven't seen enough. I mean, he's just won great all decisions. 4-0, 5-1, 8-5, 6-2. He's definitely not scoring at the clip Lovett is. That's a fact.
I'll say, you toss out Lovett's first match, he's kind of having a Brock Hardy type tournament.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's killing it. No, he looks. You know, if Vegas was making a line right now, if they watched this tournament, they'd probably say Ridge.
Absolutely, and you got to think, you know, most people are feeling Nebraska big time right now.
Yeah, they're certainly riding high. Almost skipped. We gotta go to the round of 12. Eluded, gets the pin in the round of 12. No one's surprised. Of course, he won the next round as well. He's wrestling for third. Gonna try. Sammy Alvarez. I need to talk to this man. Sammy, if you're listening, I got an interview. We got a lot of catching up to do. You've got a lot to talk me through. I mean, this guy was at Rutgers and in Oklahoma State and then nowhere. And then ends up at Ryder. Just had a super quiet year, super solid year. Kozak kept saying this man's name, kept saying, guys, Sammy Alvarez is wrestling really well. He said it at Vegas. Guys, Sammy's looks really good. And then he said he had a really good year. And then I had a good friend text me. He said, Kozak is crazy about Alvarez. No way. And look at this man.
I was kind of leaning with your friend. I'd
Yeah.
kind of written him off.
Styles versus Alvarez is the best backside match of all time, just with storylines.
Yes, it really is.
Gavin Drexler beats Cannon Webster in the round of 12. That is a shocker. So that was a huge, huge win. And then McNeil over Cross Wasilewski in the round of 12. Not a surprise there. But a shot. I mean, Cannon Webster, you know, guys in the quarters and then drops down and just couldn't get it going against Drexler. 4-0 win. That's awesome. And it felt like the story out of Big 12s that I was hearing just talking to other coaches are like, dude, North Dakota State really looks good. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you can say one All-American, but that's the progression for programs. It's like you start getting guys to the tournament, get them to the tournament, win some matches at the tournament, then you get a guy on the podium. And
they were kind of decimated a little bit when Kish left. A lot of their top guys left with him or went elsewhere.
They got portaled to oblivion, and it only worked one way.
Right.
Other than Kyle Berwick. So, yeah, that's 149 right now. Van Ness versus Styles. Easy work for Ethan. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. D'Amelio versus McNeil. And then Alvarez and Drexler are going for 7. Sammy Alvarez kept saying after he would win, he's like, I can't die. He wasn't saying you can't kill me. He's like, I'll never die or something like that. And
he's a roach.
He is. Very impressive. 157. We've been saying it all year. It's going to be Blaze and Taylor. It's a 2-horse show. Forget all the other. I mean, this is a shocker. I guess we did I don't know when we've done shows, honestly. But Blaze beat Kasak. Chumbley beat Fish. That's nuts. And then Blaze takes care of business in that top side. Got the takedown. That was enough.
And then that sets up Blaze Taylor.
Because
in the final.
Trell, he put Meyer right on his back. Throw him. I mean, really,
I mean, he just went and attacked that upper body position, made Meyer have to go for a YOLO lat drop.
Yeah. Yeah, and you would have said that's honestly, Antro won how you thought he would probably win if he was going to beat Meyer Shapiro. And he was able to execute his game plan. Meyer was able to get in on his single leg, I think, one good time, was really close to scoring. But Charlie just defended it really well and was able to avoid that and made it happen.
And I've already been wrong multiple times on this show, but I'm going to maybe be wrong again. But I believe, so Taylor won in the duel, and then they split at Big Tens.
No, I don't know. I can't fact check you on that. There's only WrestleStat
If I remember correctly, but every match was in the balance, like one takedown.
All right. WrestleStats can make me log in. Don't you guys know me by now? But who would you say is the favorite there? It feels like Antrell.
Yeah, I think so.
Know. All right, Antrell. He won in tiebreakers. He lost 4-3, and he lost 4-1. So 2-1 advantage for Joey Blaze. Dude, if Joey Blaze wins NCAAs, that is unbelievable.
No, Blaze has lost twice to him.
Oh yeah, I'm on Blaze's profile. Guys, it's 148. This is just gonna happen. This is gonna happen.
We're in real brain fry hours.
Yeah. The point is either guy can win. And that's why they wrestle in the matches. So yeah, Antrell is the favorite, albeit slightly. But Blaze did win the last one. I think I'm reading that right.
Yes.
We should move off that. WrestleStat is confounding me. 157 backside.
I will say this too. I also owe an apology to Antrell Taylor. Our last show, I said, wow, the Meyer pick looks a lot better now. And he made me eat my words.
You never know. Fish beat Saldate in the Battle of Former Spartans. That was a crazy one. It looked like both guys were going to win at different points, and there was a takedown in overtime for Fish. Kasek, a 5-4 win over Jude Swisher. Swisher was in on a single late. I was like, sort of, but then I remembered, like, these guys are training partners from M2 for sure back in the day, and that maybe factored in
And
a
also,
little bit.
Swisher was just wrestling really well this
He's
weekend.
just good.
Yeah.
He beat Downey. He had other good wins. Jude Swisher's just good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a name to watch out for in the future. Vinny Zerbin, he's kind of had to battle to get to the podium. He beats Brandon Cannon, the 5 seed. And then Matty Bianchi beats Askey to place, getting Little Rock an All-American. After
Good for them.
Good for him. I mean, what a freaking gritty kid, too. That guy just grinds. He wrestles really hard. Then you go to 165. Mitchell Show. Minto, great tournament. It's not done yet, but
Welcome to the big leagues.
welcome. But this is a different level.
Or I should say the big league.
The big league. And then Caliendo, 14-10 final over Peyton Hall, but he got up 6-0 right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like that's just a big hole to dig out of.
Peyton's a fighter, so he came back, made that close. But yeah, Caliendo, basically once he got up, knew the mission.
Yes. So we're going to have the Caliendo Messenbrink match yet again. Certainly excited for that. In the round of 12 at 165, you had Bear Claw beating Hamilton and BBA. Amin over Scholes in a very close, sudden victory match. He won 8-1, put him on his back. Julian Ramirez lost.
This was maybe the craziest blood round match. Garvin gets up big. Then Ramirez puts him on his back for a bunch of points. And then Garvin just comes back.
Takedown, and then it got bad at the end there. But it looked like Garvin was going to run away with it. And then it looked like, oh, Julian's going to do it. And then wheels fell off. Julian Ramirez up there for one of the best to never place.
Absolutely.
For sure. Cam Steed over Bowman, 4-1. They had the craziest flurry at the end of regulation where it looked like both guys were going to score. And really, if 2 more seconds, Bo Mantanona gets that takedown.
Yep.
The period basically ended with Bo basically in takedown criteria, but not enough time to get it. Which sets up Garvin versus Minto and Hall versus Bear Claw. Consi semis, Amin versus Steed for 7th. So they will wrestle once more. 174, you got to start with the job Dean Hamady did against Levi Haynes. Oh my gosh. came out, got it right away with the ankle pick. What'd you see?
Man, that was so smooth. Timed it perfect on the step and didn't give Levi the option to showcase his defense just with how quick he hit it. And with the way the rest of that match went, kind of, it was good because the defense from both guys was really on display, I thought, the rest of the match.
Yeah, totally agree. Great defense from both. And talking with Coach Taylor afterwards, he feels like DJ was putting into practice the lessons from the Keegan loss, and they were playing out in real time in this tournament and in that match, which it sets up. It's Keegan versus Dean. And listen, Keegan, the cojones, the Stan Marsh.
He's walking around with them in a wheelbarrow.
He's straight barreled out there. He gotta get rid of the wheelbarrow to weigh in, but otherwise he's barreling out there, and just got real gritty against Lorenzo Norman last night. Super gritty win over Cade DeVos. It looked like Cade was gonna make that interesting. Keegan, great ride in the third.
Yep, gets just enough to get the riding time point.
7-6 win over Cade DeVos. So it's Dean versus Keegan, NCAA title.
This is mine where I have no lean. Because on the one hand, you're like, Keegan, he's going to figure out a way again. He basically always does. He figured out a way against Levi, Collegiate Tools. He figured out a way in the Big 12 final. He has figured out a way every match here so far. Conversely, Hammond's wrestling the best we've ever seen him wrestle, and he just beat Levi Haynes.
To me, I don't know why, I feel like I just have rationale clarity in my mind, and I think Dean's going to win. I just feel like Keegan is just a little too limited. I think he looks just as limited, maybe more so than he was at Big 12s, honestly. Like, he's just, and Dean is wrestling.
But can he find a way?
And so I was talking with David about this also. He's like, man, what getting a win like this can do for you and your confidence.
That's true.
Like,
Dean's never had a win like that before, which is what we said going into that Keegan match in Big 12 final.
Yeah, and then that's what we were saying going into the semifinal match. We were talking about Dean. Could Dean win? And I said, no, I think he's just never beaten someone like Levi, and now he has.
Does this open the door?
I think the door's open. I don't know, man. I mean, it's like no one's ever going to count Keegan O'Toole out. Never, ever, ever. But Dean looks like he's wrestling really well. Not perfect though. Kennedy had a moment there too, but yeah, it's gonna be such a thrilling final. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Maybe my most anticipated final.
Honestly, might be
184.
84. Oh my gosh.
But I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think I feel stronger in Carter than, like I said, I have a lean in that match. I don't know if I have a lean at 174.
I understand. Simon Ruiz beat Pinto. That was the only round of 12 loss that they had. 2-1 for Ruiz. Singleton 13-8 over Wolak. Wask 5-3 over Incontrera. 2 All-Americans for Navy. Shout out Coach Colat, the whole Navy crew. Coach Davis, my guy. Happy for them because that is not a small feat for that team to accomplish. There's a lot of teams that would love to have 2 All-Americans, and Navy's got them. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And then Kennedy, it felt like a saga this year. I don't know if it ever felt like one to Patrick.
His kind of whole career has been a bit of one.
It's like you were just wondering, your spot is just not, when you're at an elite program, it's never safe. And it was just like, is he, isn't he, for a long time. And not only does he beat Augustine in the round of 12, he wins the next one over Wask. So now Kennedy's still alive for 3rd place. You don't have a lot of favorites, but just knowing the path to get him there, it's pretty cool to see him get
knowing
on the
he
podium.
could have gone elsewhere, but he stayed at Iowa, put in his time. Another guy easy to root for.
Super easy to root for. As we cruise on to 184, and we got to start. Parker Keckeisen is a madman. You want to talk about the Stanley Marsh effect. These freaking Askren boys. I mean, so McAnally, it looked like, were you watching live? Were you able to watch live? Okay. I mean, I thought he had it. I thought Max
did too.
McAnally's winning this match. The single leg, that standing. And what I thought in that moment is like, man, I've never really seen Parker in this position. Like I've seen people, Parker's been taken down, but like standing single is really rare to get to that point. And it looked like he was getting thrown off balance, and it just looked like a matter of time before that finish was going to come. And he dives under, perfectly timed, and able to catch it, turns in, counters, and gets the 3 of his own. And over. It is the sequence, the scramble,
Yes.
the clip of the NCAA tournament, bar none.
Hands down. And that was the match where you felt the most happy for the winner and the most heartbroken for the loser, because what a tough way to lose if you're Max
Absolutely.
McAnally. You were right there. And how close the match was with Starachi at Big Tens, and then after a win over Parker Kekaisen, I'm not saying you're feeling, as a fan, confident going in, but if you're Max, you are feeling like you can do this.
Yeah.
You can stop history. You can stop Carter Starachi from being a fifth-timer. And to have that snatch like that when you were 95% of the way to a takedown in a scenario where you are going to take down probably every guy in this weight except 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.
Maybe 1. Maybe he gets Carter with that.
Right?
I don't know. I mean, it really puts in perspective what we've sort of actually, we didn't say this. We said all year long, Max McAnally is really good, but he's probably a rung behind. Like,
He's there.
I don't know if it's a wrong. It's just like he's just. It's something in like a year. Who knows how this goes? I mean, and these are 2 legends. Like, these are 2 legends that he gave. Absolutely, he didn't lose a 1 takedown match in the conventional sense. He lost so close to both those guys, like gave them both absolute scares. Like Max McAnally needs to be put in the proper perspective. He's a really special kid.
Now, give me 3 years of McAnally versus Ferrari.
Ferrari versus Merrill versus Welsh versus Sinclair versus who knows, and there's probably other people.
That could be like the Storley, Kokesh, Evans if they scored.
With offense.
Yes.
Yeah. With offense. Yes.
But that kind of Big Ten
Where they all beat
group.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we want. So, round of 12, Allred beat Fishback. Smith beat Parker. Shout out to Terps getting, that's Alex Clemson's first All-American. What is happening?
Just 2 a.m. in a hotel lobby.
Yeah,
At NCAA's.
Yeah, I guess
This is
so.
gonna happen.
Yeah. But we got these good lob mics on, so you probably aren't hearing the boom bap. DJ Washington
Yes.
beat Edmund Ruth. I mean, that's crazy. I just thought, DJ was someone who the ability was never there, but just wasn't showing up on the mat, and showed up here. He's back on the podium.
He did. But then he ran into Chris Foca.
Who teched him? Chris Foca beats Brennett. And now it's going to be Foca versus Plott, McAnally versus Jackson Smith, and then Allred and Washington for 7th. So, 184, 197. Down goes Ferrari.
Hey, as he told everyone, he's still 2-1 against Buchanan.
Yes, he did immediately tweet that, but he gave credit to Steven.
He did.
He did handle the loss as far as I saw well. But the story in this match was the ride from Steve Buchanan. Rode out AJ Ferrari. And I don't think anyone had challenged AJ like that from the top position. AJ had a lot of confidence in his top ability, but it's a different thing when a guy's...
Buchanan got away, too.
He did. Locked hands.
And that one was weird. If you go back and rewatch, when the official called lock hands, AJ is touching Buchanan's hand. He's grabbing Buchanan's hand. And I think the official saw that, called locked hands.
Yeah.
Bakersfield challenges, and they went back like 10 seconds before that when AJ kind of touched.
Oh.
And that's when they confirmed locking hands.
Crap. Okay, I didn't know
Now,
that.
I honestly don't think that made really any difference in the match.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then it was an interesting decision by AJ to ride for a while after that, I felt, too, at that point.
Remember in the interview how he said he's like, I don't understand why all these people cut wrestlers, like why, or like I will never cut anyone. Do you remember that when he said that? And then Caleb texted me, my son. He goes, AJ said he wouldn't ever cut someone, and it's really true.
It is true.
It's true. He really does not want to cut people.
He even did the like drop down thing, get your 4 count, and then climb up. As he's losing
Yeah.
1-0, 2-0
I
with
didn't
the
get it.
writing
You're not
time.
going to turn, Steven. I thought, you cut there and try to get a takedown, but at that point, Buchanan, he was really solid. He almost took AJ down. So, Barr beats Cardenas, got that opening takedown, rode for a little bit, and Cardenas was never close to a takedown. Honestly, other than the first attack, actually.
He kind of was close in that first 5 seconds, blasted through Barr, and then Barr was able to recover
Hard
immediately.
whizzer.
Yep, and then hipped in to Cardenas, put him down, recovered, got that takedown, and then it was pretty much all Barr after that.
Barr, but it seems like he's getting better as the tournament goes on. I don't know if he's trusting whatever it was, the hamstring, I'm presuming, but really impressive.
Buchanan's definitely the favorite in that final, but the way Barr's
A
wrestling,
little bit of Barr magic.
I'm interested
Yes.
in it.
Okay, Joey Novak, Wyoming, Majors, Michael Beard, really impressive there. And then Camden McDaniel, another unlikely All-American for the husband. I was giving him a little bit of love, but I didn't pick him to play, so not that much. But gets
I
it
will
done
go
out of
as
the
far
20.
as to say is, I was questioning, it looked like it turned out to be the right decision come late January, February, December. I was questioning if they made the right decision doing the full bump down to fit McDaniel into the lineup.
I talked to Coach Manning about it and said it just took a little bit of time, but they all believed and all got so much better as time went on. And Little Rock, Stephen Little with a tech over Shoemate to punch his ticket. So 2 All-Americans again for Little
got
Rock.
cold.
He got cold. See, you can't let him get hot. When he gets cold, he's not hot.
Yeah.
Wyatt Volker goes down to maxed out. So when it just says the one last name, I do have to think for an extra second. Of Pitt. So he placed Conci semis Little versus Cardenas, Ferrari versus Novak, and then McDaniel versus Stout for 7th. As we go to the big boys. Wyatt Hendrickson, a dominant win. It was the story here over Greg Kerfleet, 8-2. So he goes pin, 8-2 over the national champion. That's impressive. What'd you see in that match?
It was the ride he put on at the end. The wheels just kind of fell off for Kirkfleet, and I kind of feel like he just accepted it in the third period. Pretty much just kind of laid there the third period. But, it was the takedown for Wyatt that really impressed me because obviously we know what Wyatt can do on top. I want to say we know Kirkfleet can struggle on bottom, but he really hasn't recently.
It's been years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like he figured it out. And then Gable, a 13-5 major over Owen Treffen. He does what he does. It's Gable. Then we go to consolation side. Keeter, 5-2, punches or 5-1 over Pitzer to place. Colton Schultz over Gavin Hoffman. Colton had 2 size mismatches tonight.
Yes, he did.
Hoffman, who was an 84-pounder not long ago, and Keeter's, a pretty small heavyweight.
Toss Keeter.
He bombed him. So he had 2 majors for Colton Schultz. He's wrestling well. Trumbull beats Feldman. Feldman DMPs. And then Josh Heinzelman wins 2-1. This guy was like 80% to a takedown 5 different times and just couldn't get him against Luffman, but then eventually cracked through. Conci semis, Trumbull versus Treffen.
NC State battle.
Wow.
Could have done that in the room in Raleigh.
I know, we could have figured this out a long time ago. And then Kerfleet versus Schultz. That's interesting, actually. And then Keeter versus Heinzelman for 7th. I don't know if it's locked for Penn State, but they're up by 34. So
if they were to lose every match and Nebraska wins, Nebraska would probably pass, no?
Yeah, they would get 4-8-12. And then they got so many guys wrestling. Yeah, they actually probably technically could still.
It's not mathematically locked.
Yeah, but it's realistically locked for Penn State. So the current top 4, and then we'll get out of here. it's pretty much the trophies are set for Penn State, Nebraska, Oklahoma State, and Iowa. Unlikely to see that order change either. Fifth place has 47, Minnesota. So that could flip with Cornell, Minnesota, who's got 46. But as far as getting that top 4, it's locked for those
Yeah,
4.
there's separation between everyone. Interestingly enough, all 3 with 3 in the finals.
All 4.
Or Oklahoma, how many does Oklahoma State have? Wyatt, Hamity, Spratley. Yeah, top 4, all 3 in the finals.
Yeah, and
So-
no more than 3.
Actually, a little bit of parity there in the finals. We don't, not a whole lot of parity. Penn State's still doing what Penn State does, but kind of at an individual level.
Yeah.
Some parity maybe we haven't seen in the past couple of years.
This is different. It feels a little different in some ways. I'm not overreacting or making a broader statement. It's just, I don't know. I've just never seen it.
20 minutes ago when the Penn State fan walked by, he said, tough round
Yeah,
or
bad round.
Or tough day.
Yeah, tough day for Penn State. And it's like, yeah, they're a victim of a lot of success. And so, yeah, it was. I don't know. I'm kind of struggling for the description right now, but yeah, pretty weird,
Yeah.
But still, hats off. But I don't think they can get the record now. No way.
No way, right? They would need 40 more points.
That's crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, it's 208, which we always said we wouldn't go past 208. So we're done. Thank you guys so much for listening. Whenever you listen, we'll do another one of these and maybe another one after that. Thanks, guys. See ya.